Mr. Clemons?
Yes. Yes, I'd like to take just a few minutes. I have some budget thoughts, but some other things that I thought would be a great opportunity. The first thing from the personal standpoint, I'd like to address some statements from the last meeting. In spite of what some people believe, I'm supportive of our teachers. I think our teachers do a great job. There was a statement that I thought that AC roofs, school buses were more important than teachers. I'd like to say I never recall that statement that I made, and that was at the last meeting that I must believe that. I never made that statement, and I certainly don't believe that. I personally think that every part of our school system is just important as the other, whether it's the teachers, custodians, principals, the gymnasium, the auditorium, the school buses. Everything out there is just as important as every other part. Without any part of that system, our school system couldn't function. So I would just like to say that I think every part of our school system is equally important, and I think we've got a great school system. From great teachers to buildings, to attitudes, to everything with that. The second statement I would like to clarify, and it does pertain to budget somewhat. There was a statement directed towards me that we had $11 million budget and only $6 million was used for salaries, so therefore we had $5 million remaining in operating budget. And I would like to make a statement there that $3 million of that $5 is actually employee benefits. So out of $11 million, $9 million, which is about 81% of our total operating budget. So it's not like we have millions of dollars that we've been wasting for anything. You get down to the fact that we have $2 million to conduct every business activity of the school besides wages. And that's not necessarily out of the ordinary, that's business. Payroll is always the biggest part of it. But I did want to clarify that we've got great teachers, we've been able to provide great benefits, and that is a part of it. So the very small part of less than 20% of our budget goes to non-payroll. So I thought I should put that out there and clarify. A couple things came up. As we talk about budget, there are a lot of things, a lot of needs in our school, and we've gotten a lot of those from you all. That we've heard that from additional teachers to supplies to equipment, and we have pages of things that are necessary. There are a lot of things that are needed in the schools that so far this board hasn't put any time to speak of in discussing. We've looked at cuts and pay scales and spent a lot of time. But there are a lot of things important that we need to consider, and just sharing things out there that you all need to think about as well, where budgets come from. One of the big problems I have, an issue that needs to be addressed, we still have asbestos in our high school. A lot of you are working at it. It's there, it's theoretically protected, it's bound, it's not harmful as it occurs. But as we got into issues just a couple of years ago, as old ceilings began to crack and things began to happen, that asbestos is suddenly loose. Now, due to some likely incorrect information, we have possibly been misinformed in the past on the degree of asbestos there and thought we had taken care of the majority of it. So somewhere in budget time this year, next year, sometime in the near future, I feel like for the welfare of our students and for everyone who walks in that high school, it's safe now. The asbestos is safe, but we need to get rid of it. So as we prepare for the future, we need to get that behind us so we don't have to worry about it. So that's a really, really big situation. Now that's not anything that I would believe is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it needs to be addressed. Today, and this can be budget, but it's kind of an unrelated, but it has to do more with what's going on recently, with everything that's going on in our country, with the violence and everything that's happening now. We hear all the stories about armed guards, gun laws. We have added security, we do locks, we do cameras. It's my opinion, that none of those things are going to prevent it. They may help us, they may keep us safe, but it's the people. And as we do things with students, your all's goals, our goals, are to prepare our students for society, for the life after. Now, our governments have gotten so bad that everything has been geared up to our goal is to get the kids ready for college, whether they're going to college or not. One of my favorite phrases, and some of these folks have heard a lot, I grew up in school hearing about a well-rounded student. And that didn't necessarily mean the best of grades or passing SOL tests that we didn't have or particular grades on achievement tests. But a well-rounded meant when that kid was through school, hopefully that kid was prepared for life. That we have done everything in school that we could. We've given them a good textbook education. They've learned responsibilities. They've learned honesty, a lot of things that our people instill on them. And as our school system, and I see this an opportunity with everyone here to say that I'm proud of our school system. We've got a great system. As we talk about it growing, we have a system that people want to come to. But we're certainly not immune to any of these behavioral things out there. So, that being said, I look at what can we do and get guidance from you all. What can we do to help those kids more? As I hear comments about special ed class and how it is, and I have some closer connections to needy kids now. My daughter does some counseling. I've talked quite a bit with Melinda. There are so many kids with special needs. We need to do everything we can to help those kids. And if there's an additional program that we can purchase, rent, participate, if in fact a discussion that our superintendent had, we need, in her belief, a special ed teacher. Any of those things that we can do to help those kids, we provide an environment that kids are comfortable, that they want to come to, that new curriculums can make it interesting or challenging. We've talked about more kids hopefully being able to go to vocational and preparing for life. But there's so many things out there that trouble kids. We need to be able to show our kids and their parents that we really care. I think our lunch programs are great there. The one-on-ones that we can do and the outside groups that are in our schools with counseling, all those things help so much. But as we read the news and watch the media, very seldom do we see anything that says, if we'd helped this kid 10 years ago, he might not have a gun shooting up school. And most of those kids have a history of a needy background of some type. So all that being said, if there's anything that I can see in my heart that we can do in the schools to help those kids over and above what you're all doing now, then I'm certainly going to push for doing that. And if that means an extra special ed teacher program, if there are more outside counselors available, the one-on-one, and we've had some tragedies in our school, not in big numbers, but an individual here and there that things have happened, and I think we've handled them pretty well. I mean, we've had some students that have died while in high school and things, and people are really bound together to handle things. And I think that's important, and it's good to say that we're proud that we do. We rally when we need to, and that's the great thing about a small community, that we can do that. Things I'm involved with Car Club, we've done fundraisers for a lot of needy families, and it just amazes me how much our community participates and gives. We've got a whole lot of good people here. Carrying that over into our schools, that reflects as well. But if there's anything that you all see that we can improve on, that we can do, that you all can do, that you need to help with, I'd just like for you to think about that. If it's some sum of money we need to come up with, I don't know where your salaries are going. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But if there's some minuscule amount of money that we can come up with that might help one kid out there somewhere, then we need to try to do that. So, tying together with budget talk somewhat, yes, but more than that, it's about what our school system is and what we can do. And it does take money to do things, but a lot of it is attitude. So, we've got a lot of great people, a lot of people that work at it, but please, if there's anything that we can do, if we do need something, we need special, well, I know reading, and that's something that Mr. Bennett had brought up, and hopefully that's being addressed. We need help for our kids. Any little thing, we don't want to get it caught up and we can't, because if we need it, we need to try to find a way to do it. So that's what I would like to say on behalf of our board. Now, with pay scales, I don't know tonight, and I don't want this misled this has happened. We don't know about budget yet. We've still got issues with the state money, and so you all understand the state has provided money in previous years only with a 2% raise, and we have to match it, and then we do raises for the remainder of the folks there. The state doesn't do a very good job of providing additional funding the way they should. Our additional funding has come from additional ADM. So, that being said, I'm finished with my thoughts here, but I just wanted to share those with you all.
I think Ms. Snead-Jhnson has a few comments that she'd like to make.
Yeah, I'd like to address first, asbestos is my concern as well, and we do have a consultant coming in, Mr. Wes Hambrick, in 2 weeks, where we stand with asbestos in the building, and he'll give us a report, and we'll move forward with that. As far as school security, I appreciate what everybody does to make our students safe every day. We are planning a school safety seminar with Chief Morgan, the new Chief of Police, in March. I hope you all will turn out when we do have that, so you can express what you feel we need to do differently to make our schools safer and more secure. That's been a big push of mine for years. The money has been coming down from the state to help us do more security, but the money may be drying up if they don't realign the money in Richmond. I don't know where that's going to take. I also want to call your attention to something that Covington City Schools has been made a part of, and that's called the Small Rural Schools Coalition. And we have become a member of that Small Rural School Coalition, and there was an editorial in Sunday's paper, or maybe it was Saturday's paper, but anyway, from Dr. Keith Perrigan, who is the superintendent of Bristol, Virginia schools, who is advocating that we all let Richmond know that we're here in this part of the state and we deserve to have the same type of funding that they have everywhere else in larger places in Virginia. Read his article if you'd like. I have a copy of it. I have emailed him, but our division is participating in the Small Rural School Coalition. They have been lobbying for more money for every school division that's small. Doesn't have to be rural. There are a lot of small school divisions in Virginia. So take a look at this if you can. If you'd like a copy, I'd be glad to send it to you, but we are looking at that. And as far as what you all do to help students be successful, we are looking at every avenue we can. We've worked with Family Preservation to find services for students who have struggles and need more support. They have secured a counselor for us, but don't know when they'll start. We had a counselor, mental health counselor from the Allegheny Foundation, and that money went away, but Family Preservation has worked with us to find another counselor to be in our buildings only to support our students, because we know our counselors have very little time, not very little. They will do whatever they can. Let me just say that. Take that. They will do whatever they can, but their time gets spread thin. So we need mental health counseling at times for our students. So we're working on lots of things. I just want you to know that we're always looking for ideas from you all too. So Mr. Clemons did say that if you have ideas about what we can do, when you find out about the school safety seminar with the community for Chief Morgan, please come out for that as well. And tomorrow night there is a kind of a town hall meeting on opiates in the community. There is a meeting at the new church, is at Fincastle Baptist, about the opioid problem in this community and the parts of the state. There'll be a meeting to discuss that as well, so I hope you can attend that if you have time to support the community endeavors to to make this a better place for all of us to be. So that's just a few things.
Well, I hope you've heard tonight, each and every one of you, how much we value you as being part of our school system. We are very proud of our school system, and you're very much a part of that and all that you do, and you impact our children every day. So we thank you for everything that you do, and we're very thankful for Ms. Snead-Jhnson and her team working hard to present us the budget tonight. As she indicated, we still have a few more items to review as we move forward, but there will be a actual presentation of the budget that I encourage you all to come back to again so that you can hear that final piece. But you've heard where Ms. Snead-Johnson's passion is and her commitment to where we're going to be. And so we're very pleased with being able to present that tonight. And so any further questions? Any other comments?
Just one thing, as you mentioned, final, Cindy, so everyone will know, we may not know final until the 11th hour, depending on the state. That's happened before.
Right.
We could be June knowing
Well,
what.
we
where
have to
actually
present
are.
a budget to
Right,
the
that's what I'm
city
saying, but
by
it's not necessarily
March the
the final
30th.
budget, right.
So our plans is to have a presentation of the budget somewhere about the middle to the latter part of the month. So please watch. We'll try to communicate. We'll make sure that everyone knows, but we'll be able to present that and have that ready, and then we'll vote shortly after. As you've heard us, there have been times that, yes, we voted on the budget right up to like the day before or the day of as we're presenting, just because of the funding may be somewhat unknown. But we feel very comfortable with what we've been given. We thank the city for their commitment in giving us. Thank you, Mr. Tucker, for coming tonight. We appreciate that. But they have committed to us and they're telling us in advance, so we're not waiting to the 11th hour of finding out their commitment as well. So those are good things for us. Thank you all for coming.